Alright, so this is gonna be a weird one to introduce. Technically the game we're looking at today is Game Center CX Arno no Chosenjo 2, developed by Indie Zero? The same company who made NES Remix 1 and 2? Interesting. Back on topic. This is a Japan-only Nintendo DS game that is based upon a TV show called Game Center CX, which is about a middle-aged Japanese comedian called Shinya Arano trying to beat a bunch of video games despite being terrible at most of them. Isn't that just Let's Plays in a nutshell? This game and its predecessor are about a being that manifests itself out of Arano's game frustrations known as Game Master Arano, and sends you to an alternate reality 80s with a child version of himself, and tasks you to complete challenges for retro-styled games that are inspired by the classics. There's even manuals for each game, but I'm only looking at 2 games here for this, Demon Returns and Super Demon Returns. Actually, that stupid Cupid wanted me to cover these, but I can't remember why.
Because this game and the first one are being remade for Nintendo Switch in a dual pack, and it looks incredible. I can't wait to get my hands on it.
Oh, I see. Now get out of here, this is my segment!
Oh, gomenasai.
Let's just begin already. Start with the first game, Demon Returns. The story is, some guy called Damon is in love with some princess, but she is then kidnapped. Damon is cursed and turned into a demon, and has to use his newfound powers to save her. Nothing complicated here. This game is an NES/Famicom inspired platformer. By just looking at it, you could tell it was heavily inspired by Super Mario Bros. It's similar in gameplay too. You move with the D-pad, jump with A, and attack with B. You can also hold B to run. Most enemies are pretty simple to deal with, but you can also do something with them called devil riding. If you attack an enemy with your slash, causing them to spin in place, you can jump on top of them and devil ride them. While devil riding, you move a lot faster than your normal running speed. However, your movement is a lot more loose, and you can't stay still unless you're on the ground and holding down. If you get hit, you'll dismount the enemy you were riding. You can also manually dismount by pressing A in the air, launching yourself up and functioning like a one-use double jump. Devil riding also has slightly different properties depending on the enemy you're using. Like some enemies allow you to defeat others by running into them, or others allow you to take them out by jumping on them. By attacking devil blocks, you'll be able to find power-ups inside in the form of medals. If you collect a moon medal, you'll become a big demon. Collect another after that, and you'll become a demon king, allowing you to throw spin tornadoes and attack from afar. But be careful, you'll be reduced back to a little demon if you're hit, even at full power, just like the original Super Mario Bros. The other kind of medals you can find are spark medals, which make you invincible, 1-up medals, which give you an extra life, apple medals, which make more apples appear for a short period of time, and skull medals, those are like poison mushrooms, so ignore them. Getting apples is also important, because they're not just here for points. You need to keep collecting them in order to keep the meter full to stay alive. It's a mechanic born from Adventure Island, or the first Wonder Boy if you want to be exact. Souls are pretty much this game's version of coins. Get 100 of them and you'll get an extra life. You can find them in blocks, after defeating enemies, in pots, or in special bonus rooms you can enter. And just like Super Mario Bros., there are warp zones you can enter to skip certain stages. Instead of ending the stage by grabbing a flagpole, you end it by attempting to grab these circles of light in midair. The higher the circle is, the more points you'll get. But fail to touch them and you'll get nothing at all. But don't feel too bad about it, points didn't do much in this game. The 4th stage of each world is the castle stage, and you'll have to fight a boss at the end of these. There are 4 worlds and 4 levels in each, making for a grand total of 16 stages to beat. Although a bit on the simple side, this game is quite fun to play from start to finish. Let's move on to Super Demon Returns, the sequel. This will be a bit of an abridged look at, since most of what I said about the original Demon Returns applies to this game too. Even to the story, because it's second verse same as the first, only now in 16-bit. So what's different about this one compared to the first? Well, firstly, since this game is on fictional 16-bit hardware, the game looks and sounds a lot nicer than the first. The levels are a lot larger too, there's a lot more vertical scrolling here, and you can actually travel backwards through the levels now. Attacking up and down is also possible too, which is really handy. One of the most satisfying things to do in this game is attacking enemy above and riding them instantly. And when you're a big demon or demon king, there's a new technique you can perform called the Super Spin Claw by holding X or Y. It has a wide range when fully charged, and it's great for taking out tougher enemies or destroying a bunch of blocks at once. And there's also some blocks that can only be destroyed with this move. There are also a couple new enemies added to the lineup, including this one which can kill enemies by both running into them and jumping on them, and they're wicked. There are also now letters you can find in the stages which spell out Demon, as well as a new crystal ball power which makes your apple meter drain more slowly. You won't lose your chance to touch those 2 spinning magic circles at the end of the stage if you touch the ground this time, so you'll always get to see flowers when the stage ends in this one. And finally, the game saves your progress on levels, so if you get a game over, you can actually retry on the level you lost in. Nice! I actually really like this game. The first title was fun, but this one is super fun. I guess that's why Stephanie over here wanted me to talk about it.
Don't call me that.
But overall, both Demon Returns and Super Demon Returns are great Halloween spins on the classic Super Mario formula. They sort of do their job too well though. There have been many times where I've instinctively tried to jump at blocks hoping for nothing to happen, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one guilty of doing that. So if you're interested in what you see here, definitely pick this game up. Where exactly can they get their hands on, I don't know whatchamacallit, Couria?
Well, since this game was only released in Japan, you'll probably have to import it. It could be a little bit on the pricey hand second hand, but this game is very well made, so its price tag is totally justified. Just a little word of warning. Demon Returns and Super Demon Returns have to be unlocked first, so you'll have to go through some of the game's other challenges to get to these ones, which could be a major problem since there's a text adventure game which is entirely in Japanese, so if you're having a bit of trouble, use a guide for some pointers. Also, I highly recommend checking out its fan translation, Retro Game Challenge 2. This game can get rather wordy, especially for that text adventure game, so that's definitely worth looking into. Or, you know, just wait for the new one that's coming out like I am.
Thanks for the info. And with that all done, I think that wraps up this year's Eerie Endorsements. Even if some of the titles I covered this year were a little, unorthodox, I hope some of you consider giving these games a shot, even this Japan only one. So thank you for watching, stay safe on those streets, and happy Halloween!